Beyond the valley between cliffs, I encountered a whole new world. Also, I met the bare face of Mother Nature on a rocky mountain where time is built up over a span of millions of years. The sand from the mountain travels with the wind and creates a vast desert. The desert has different facets we didn't know about. I am off to find the hidden world beyond the sand dunes. Today's destination, the Sharkia Sands, is about the same size as Gangwon Province in Korea. I head to Al-Mintorin, a city I have to pass to explore the vast desert. The mountains and villages of this area lay low as if crawling close to the ground. The entire place is the color of sand without a border between the hills and the village.
제가 여행을 참 많이 해봤지만 이렇게 독특한 풍경은 처음인 것 같습니다. 마치 그 지구 밖의 다른 행성에 와 있는 듯한 그런 기분이라고 할까요?
The Sharkia Sands was formed by sand carved off of rocky mountains that stretch out in this area.
Hi, how are you? Yeah, it's fine. How are you?
It's okay.
Yeah, everything is fine.
It's okay.
저기 이 친구는 저 오늘 와이바 사막을 같이 갈 무살람이라는 여기 오만 현지 친구입니다.
This hill we have a desert. This is too much sun and tolling. This is very nice. The weather is cold there.
길이 이렇게 좋지 않기 때문에 오늘 하루 험난한 여정이 되게 예상되지만 또 그곳에서 다채로운 어떤 황량한 모습들을 저희가 또 마주할 수 있을 것 같아서 많이 설레고 기대가 됩니다.
You have to be well prepared to spend a few days in the desert, where all there is sand. It wasn't long after we took off, and I realized that the sky looks gloomy. It must have rained in the desert like I dreaded.
보세요. 지금 거의 다 지금 주변은 거의 다 침수가 돼 있고요.
The streets are full of water. Also, the water continues to rise, preventing us from driving any faster.
지금 차가 밀려요. 저건 물살이 생각보다 굉장히 빠르네요.
I wonder if we will even be able to make it to the desert. Just as I expect, all cars lined up at the entrance of the desert. I'd believe it if someone told me that this were the sea, not a desert. I hope we don't get trapped here. I decide to check out the situation.
저희가 지금 저 사막 너머로 지금 가야 되는데 이 물줄기 때문에 길이 끊겨서 지금 저 사막 저 건너편으로 지금 가기 어려울 것 같습니다. So what happened here? What's the situation now?
ايش الوضع هنا الحين؟ كيف؟
عادي
يعني انت الحين تبغى تروح ولا تقطع ولا وين؟
قطعوا.
تبغى تروح هناك المكان الثاني؟
ايوه.
عادي روح فور ويل، المشي سهل لكن المشكله الرجع لان الوادي يكون ضدك. معي؟ المشي عادي بتاخذ راحتك لكن بترجع انت ولا بتروح هناك؟ يعني انا افضل انكم تروحوا لان الجو جميل هناك.
If rain continues, that means it will come. This rain's been since very early morning. We were lucky to pass before the rain, before the wadi comes down. Now, maybe it's raining now, and the water, more water will come later. Yeah, because it takes a long time. It's come like for 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers maybe to reach here.
A flood in the desert? I can't believe it, even after seeing it with my own eyes. These lowlands are easily submerged even when there is a small amount of rain, because there are many plants to absorb the water. There is foam in one corner of the mud. What could it be?
생크림 같아요, 생크림. 모래 입자가 물 위에 떠가지고 이렇게 뭉쳐가지고 있는 모습인데요. 마치 그 생크림 같습니다.
This is a phenomena that occurs when grains of sand that are lighter than water don't get mixed into the water. Usually, they get no more than 10 millimeters of rain this time of year, so this storm is very unusual weather.
우수상은 아닌데 굉장히 좀 재미난 풍경은 이 사막지대이기 때문에 이곳 사람들이 물을 거의 볼 일이 없는데 지금 이렇게 며칠 동안 폭우로 인해서 이렇게 물이 불어나가지고 일종의 큰 강이 됐기 때문에 많은 이 사막에 사는 사람들이 지금 이곳에 나와서 구경하러 나와 있습니다. 보시면 여기 많은 차와
I'm sure they find it fascinating, since it's interesting even to me. Some people lay a carpet used in prayer down on the ground and watch comfortably. They look like children at a picnic. It starts raining just as I try to start a conversation with the jolly young men.
지금 또 갑자기 폭우가 막 쏟아져가지고요. 지금 막 차 안으로 들어왔습니다. 정말 이렇게 소낙비가 이 사막에 내린다는 게 믿겨지지가 않네요, 정말.
The flowing rain turns the desert into a river. Camels are called boats of the desert, and just like their nickname, they wade effortlessly through the water like boats. The next day, the desert is back as if nothing had happened. There are people with herds of camels everywhere we go. They head to a place where people are preparing for a camel race. Small and big camel races are held from October to April, when the weather in the desert is cooler. Each camel has something on its back. It doesn't just look like a number.
This is the machine rider. It's controlled by.
The machine is a receiver that can be controlled by remote control. The owners whip the camels or transit their voices through walkie-talkies. In the past, young children who were light were used as jockeys, but people switched to this machine because of constant injuries and child abuse issues. Everyone gets busy as soon as the last participant finishes his preparations.
Big car, go.
So we just get on the car?
Yeah.
I climb into the truck without knowing what is going on. It's the truck of a local broadcasting station.
Sit down.
The trucks shoot forward in pursuit of the dashing camels. It's hard to tell if it is a camel race or a truck race, as both the camels and their owners do their best to push forward. Camels can gallop as fast as 60 kilometers per hour. There are several ways to make a camel speed up. The owners talk through their walkie-talkies. They start yelling if that doesn't work. The sound surprises the camels, and they break into a sprint with foam forming in their mouths.
세 번째로 뛰던 낙타가 저쪽에서 크락션을 막 울리고 소리를 지르니까 지금 선두로 나섰습니다. 보이시죠? 저 파란색. 네.
아, 그렇네요.
The honking gets louder as we approach the finish line. It sounds like a frantic, lost effort to turn the tables. The whip on the machine lashes out harder as the camels go faster. The 3-kilometer race is finally over. The winner of today's race gets a watch. Some of the bigger races have sizable prizes. This guy, who was trying to show us a dramatic underdog victory, was eliminated without being able to make the final spurt. Muslims are prohibited from gambling, so the people cannot make bets on the race. They solely race for the prize money. The average lifespan of a camel is 12 years, with racing camels in their prime at 6 years old. The owners choose camels with longer legs and athletic builds to train them into race camels.
It's master camel, no racing. It's only master. It's only master camel. It's jog man. Take 4-2 and backside go trading for exercise.
These big camels gathered in one corner of the camel's rest area are veteran racers that only participate in games with a large cash prize. They are raised on different feed from other camels.
His Arabic name Jet.
Jet.
Jet, yes. This Arabic name Jet.
It is crucial to feed them the same amount every day.
And a small camel, only 3 kilo. For a small camel, 2 and a 3. And at lunch, I give for 5, 6, 3 only. But look, for 1 kilo, this I give 1 camel, small camel, 1. It's big camel, 2. And then another big something, 5 years, I give 250. It's morning.
Okay.
But because after racing finish, is goat camel. Is sold goat for camel.
They feed the camels water with salt and vitamins mixed into it after races for them to recover and to keep them hydrated.
Okay.
They invest in their camels because they are expensive animals.
If drink this for camel,
Camel racing 1 million, 3 million, 2 million. Very expensive camel now.
In the sudden downpour, the men are more worried about their camels than themselves. Protecting the race camels mean protecting their wealth. Now we are off to find the hidden facets of the desert on the other side of the sand dune. The Sharqiya Sand spans 180 kilometers from north to south. This road will take us to Kihai. I now finally encounter the Sharqiya Sands for real. Walking in the desert requires as much energy as hiking a path full of rocks. It becomes even more difficult when passing endless sand dunes, where it is impossible to navigate the direction.
곳이 없네요.
The Rocky Mountains were cut by the wind over a long time and washed away in the rain to form this vast red desert. How long would it take for the sand to be cut and washed to become such soft and fine grains?
이야, 이 모래에 이 움직이는 이 모습이 정말 어느 예술가가 표현한 것보다 더욱더 부드럽고 섬세하고 모래 위로 아주 잔잔하게 모래바람이 불어오고 있는데요. 마치 그 김이 그 모락모락 피어오르는 듯한 어떤 그런 모습을 보여주고 있습니다.
The sand seems to be a living organism in this desert.
이런 바람에 의해서 계속 모래들이 움직이게 되고요. 전체적으로는 이 와히바 사막이 1년에 10m씩 이동하는 그런 결과를 갖고 있습니다.
There is life, even in this sandy field. It's moving so fast that I can't keep up with it. It looks as if it is flying rather than running. I am able to see its face only after chasing it for a while. It is hard to see desert lizards because they camouflage themselves. It looks cute as it looks around, searching for a direction to run away. Over 200 different species of animals are said to live in this desolate land. The power of life is unbelievable. A journey through the desert is much like our lives. We get lost, face situations in which we can't do anything, and chase after mirages in life. Also, it feels like some moments will never end. However, there are lives that fight against the hot sun without giving up in the midst of all of this.
굉장히 거칠고 굉장히 그 가시처럼 단단하기도 하고.
The traces of another person become your guide at times. I come across a herd of goats at the end of the path. Does someone live here? I think they are raised by a person, seeing that they don't run away from me. It's just as I thought. I find someone living nearby. They are a Bedouin family, nomads who live in the Arabic deserts.
Salam alaikum.
The wife seems to find my lighter skin tone interesting.
Same size.
Yes.
Same size.
She keeps comparing my hand with her darker one. Then the grandmother shyly greets me.
굉장히 수줍어하십니다. 저희가 오니까 이불을 이렇게 덮어가지고 얼굴을 안 보여주시네요. 할머니 안녕하세요. 할머니 안녕하세요. 얼굴 좀 보여주세요. 할머니 안녕하세요.
خليهم متوكلون عني كل شوي عن عمرك كل شوي راني بحقك انت ياهم الباع
Did I make a mistake? She seems very upset. This woman treats us foreigners with comfort, unlike other Omani women. Thanks to her, I am able to see what life in the desert is like. They use a minimum amount of water to drink. This green tent is this family's home. I wonder what the interior looks like. It has everything it needs, although it is located in the middle of the desert.
حوض تلفزيون ملة كبت مكتبة كبت حاجة عتيبة عواضد بناقري غلب.
바깥에서 봤을 때는 굉장히 허름해 보였는데요. 안에 들어오니까 그래도 굉장히 아늑하고 또 이 베두인 사람들이 사는데 부족함이 없을 정도로 굉장히 또 편안해 보입니다.
This chest looks special.
보물 상자인 것 같은데요. 지금 안 보여주시려고 그러는데 그래도 열어주십니다. 네.
I wonder what is in the treasure chest.
이 안에 과자를 숨겨놓으셨네요. 뭔가 굉장한 보물이 숨겨 있을 거라고 생각을 했었는데 와.
Snacks are rare and valuable treasures in this area.
Okay. You first. 지금 이거를 얼굴을 가리셔가지고 지금 먹는 모습을 보기가 좀 어려운 것 같네요.
The Bedouin used to be nomadic people who raised sheep in the desert. Many of them have given up their nomadic lifestyles and settled down in the desert.
This is my house for the sheep goat here. Keep it in the desert.
Okay.
Okay? Huh?
Although the tradition of a nomadic life has disappeared, their lifestyle of adjusting to the given environment remains the same. They never complain about the lack of something. Also, the women's workload is much easier than when they lived as nomads. They have gas and electricity even in the middle of the desert, and can cook with various utensils in the kitchen. This was something unimaginable in her mother's time. The lamb curry is cooked to perfection, and the family gathers around to eat. They don't have separate plates, but they eat out of one big pot.
It's very good.
Yes.
Very tasty.
حلو الغداء حلو.
Good.
Yeah, good. No need try?
رباها ربا الصحراء ربا العيش فيها لين نموت لين نخيس. ودفنوا لنا تحت الثاني ونروح عند رحمة ربنا. زين.
The men of the desert learn how to ride a camel at a young age. This boy seems scared to get on a camel. I wonder what it feels like to ride a camel.
Just like this? Yeah. Or just like this?
Yeah.
야, 안장이 없어서 솔직히 오!
I am caught off guard because it stands up before I am ready.
어때요? 갑자기 이게 딱 일어서니까 이게 굉장히 높아요. 앉아있을 때 모르는데 갑자기 탁 일어나는데 굉장히 제가 이렇게 높이 올라온 것 같습니다.
The Bedouin call camels Ata Allah, which means a gift from God. That's how significant camels are in the lives of these people in the desert. This family owns a gas station near their house.
بترول معلوم شيشة.
오일 스테이션이라고 써 있네요.
شيشة بترول معلوم.
Unlike gas stations we see in cities, all they have is a barrel of gas. However, It is helpful for travelers who are stuck in the middle of the desert.
자동차한테 그 페트롤이 없으면 안 되는데 이렇게 또 간이 시설로 만들어놨기 때문에 자동차한테도 오아시스인 것 같습니다. It's good. What's your name?
Puto.
Huh?
Puto.
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 Puto. 이름이 뭐야? What's your name?
Hand.
Hand.
Although many foreigners visit the area, the children aren't familiar with Asians and look at me with interest. I follow the owner to one corner of a rest area, where handcrafts are sold to tourists. They started selling souvenirs as more tourists started visiting the desert.
딱 넣으니까 굉장히 귀엽고 갖고 다니면 굉장히 예쁠 것 같은데요.
This is another side of Oman that is changing from being the hermit of Arabia to a tourist location.
정말 어딜 가나 정말 이 차를 대접하는 오만 사람들의 인심을 또 이곳 사막의 오아시스에서도 느낄 수 있는 것 같네요.
يوم شوف كله مني منك وايد زين اوكي اوكي شكرا.
Is it because the man's comment? I can't wait to get to the end of this journey and see the view he mentioned. The paths are not flat, and we travel up and down an endless number of sand dunes. The car that was running fine suddenly comes to a stop. It must be something serious for Musalam, the guide, to let out such a huge sigh. A tire is stuck in the sand. It's one of the most common problems that happen in the desert. We deflate the tire and scoop out the sand with our hands. Also, he puts the car in reverse instead of going forward to escape the hole we were in. We seem to be back on track when we find ourselves in another ditch. We are in a situation where we can't pull the car out by ourselves. Thankfully, we escaped the crisis with the help of another truck.
kilometers again.
We have a long way to go, but we wasted so much time. The sun will be setting soon, and we somehow get off track.
Coming from this side. Location.
So how can we find
We'll see by
the place to spend the night tonight?
We'll ask and we'll see the map. We'll found.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
지금 저희가 사막을 달리다가 지금 길을 잃어버린 것 같은데요. 지금 오늘 밤에 묵어야 될 숙소를 찾아야 되는데 지금 운전사가 길을 잃어버린 것 같습니다. 지금 어느 쪽으로 가야 돼요?
All we see around us is dreary sand. Not a single person is to be seen. However, we decide to stay here instead of moving elsewhere. This is where we will stay for tonight. The sunset from the desert was what I was looking forward to the most on this trip.
지금 태양이 지는 모습을 보려고 하는데요. 와, 보시는 것처럼 이 모래를 밟으면서 위로 올라가는 게 등산하는 것보다 훨씬 어렵습니다.
I climb with determination, reminding myself that there is sweet pleasure after pain. I get anxious, thinking the sun might set while I'm climbing up the hill.
드디어 이 모래 언덕 위까지 올라왔는데요. 다행히 아직 해가 떨어지지 않아서 운 좋게 오늘 일몰을 볼 수 있을 것 같습니다. 운이 좋네요. 그 어느 곳에서 해를 지는 모습을 보는 것보다 뭔가 굉장히 이렇게 마음이 비워지는 듯한 그런 느낌이 들고요. 이 사막이 굉장히 어떤 정결하고 어떤 굉장히 순수한 어떤 그런 자연의 이미지를 주는 곳이라는 그런 생각이 드는데요. 그런 공간 속에서, 순수의 공간 속에서 이 떨어지는 해를 바라보니까 마음속에 뭔가 어떤 정결함이 이렇게 밀려오는 것 같습니다. 제 자신을 다시 한번 또 바라볼 수 있는 그런 시간이 되는 것 같고요.
It's a very sunny day, which is a first on this trip. This is the weather I was expecting when I imagined going to the desert.
Take the road, will go down. I am found the road now. It's okay. We'll enjoy with the desert. Full speed. Do a pressure for your eyes.
Although we faced a series of hardships, it was enough for me to enjoy the desert. We are now at the end of the desert.
저기 아라비아해가 보입니다. 드디어 아라비아해가 보이네요.
The desert that seemed to stretch out forever comes to an end. The desert and the sea. It's a unique scene to see the two worlds meet.
또 지금 여기까지 와서 저렇게 푸른 바다를, 아라비아 해를 바로 대면하게 되니까 그래도 그런 어려움들이 모두 다 사라지고 뭔가 새로운 어떤 기분이 찾아오는 듯한 그런 기분이 듭니다.
This is not the end, but the beginning of another world. As I look at the old Arabian Sea, I think about the many explorers who dreamt of a new world.